Well, we have great insights for all of us this morning. And of course, Kojo Yankson is also right here in the studio. Kojo, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Daddy Ruru.
Well, definitely. And we have to start off with the news.
Absolutely. And Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah has condemned an attack on a police officer by a driver at Malam Junction. A viral video on Saturday showed the driver and his mate assaulting a police officer while passers-by looked on. Now, the act has been received with mixed reactions, especially on social media. And Mr. Nkrumah says the police will investigate the matter and bring the perpetrators to book. Latif Idris has more in this report.
Ghana's social media space, particularly Facebook, has been fed with the latest viral video. Now, in that video, you would find a police officer and a driver plus his mate engaged in a serious brawl. Let's take a look at the video. It all happened right here at the Malan Junction on the Kasua-Accra stretch. Reports we have gathered from eyewitnesses indicate that it all started when the driver and his mate jumped the red light just some few meters ahead of us. Now, the police officer who attempted to stop the vehicle and the driver failed. So he jumped on an Okada, as we put it here in a local parlance, and gave the driver a hard chase. So the driver ended up here, right here, and even when the vehicle was in motion, the police officer, we are told by eyewitnesses, jumped from the Okada, that is a motorbike, pounced on the driver behind the steering wheel and gave him a beating of his life. Having had enough of the beating, the driver got out of the vehicle with the support of his mate. They also pounced on the police officer and took just a part of the officer in black.
Driver nso oduru ono na green esi so wo twemu na policeman no chasing say wa twa red no so ntwa red ense policeman chasing na odi ba chi ne ha wanya abute ono ko wura passengers gum as a policeman de esenka wo na wo krokro driver wo wura kan nu a passengers gum to driver wura kan nu no obubo.
The driver strongly denied jumping the red light. He told me he explained to the officer he did no wrong, but the officer wouldn't listen. He jumped in the vehicle and punched the driver in the head. I must say the vehicle almost ran into the wall. I told the officer about how disappointed I was, because what he did was unacceptable. The driver sustained cuts in the nose and directly above the cheekbone. The beating got to the driver so much so that he decided to retaliate.
But that driver no be any element in the car or bono pa. Sana didn't happen yet. To show my policeman as some yet the cry. It is an to any nipa draw be a cry.
Police no or a law into your car, so this so.
Police a law say or can't would do so. And a nipano, which is seen no, a chest which in your and you was who go rack and noble bono.
Tell me who any Yanaka kwa police in Gina driver no steer no kitamuno, or Gina Chia Brakwa car ne bobo driver now soon.
I saw the police officer slapping and punching the driver from behind. The driver eventually parked the vehicle just here. It was so pathetic what happened here on Friday, and the eyewitnesses sympathized with the driver.
Meanwhile, Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah has condemned the attack on the police officer.
Again, that will be condemnable as well. It is my understanding that, as is done in these matters, the police will seek to do a quick investigation and find the persons responsible. If you assault a peace officer or a public officer, there are consequences for it.
Well, And let's move on. Some staff of the Ningo Prampram District Assembly have been left terrified following an attack by armed land guards. A team selected from the Works Department and the Town and Country Planning Department was on a routine check for building permits when they were attacked. The team had earlier served a private developer a stop work notice at Afienya, close to Shine Hills, and was there just to check on their compliance. As soon as the team got there, a pickup with heavily built men with weapons pulled up and attacked members of the team. Correspondent Kwame Nyanka brings us the latest.
The team from Ningo Prampram Works Department and Town and Country Planning was within its jurisdiction inspecting building permits. At the said site, a pickup with heavily built men with guns, machetes, among other offensive weapons, pulled up. After several minutes of exchanges, the armed land guards threatened to kill the works engineer and the rest of the team. District Works Engineer Justin Glover says the attack lasted for about 40 minutes.
I continue asking my team to be calm and not attempt to retaliate. They kept using machetes, they pulled out. Some were having guns, some were having cutlass, and any other appliance they could lay hands on. Even when we wanted them to open the gate so that we move, they locked the two gates to the site and trapped us inside. And so they could do whatever they want to do until they noticed that enough harm has been caused to us and we needed medical attention. Then they opened the gate. At that point, one of them even said that, "Engineer, ask your people to take you to hospital." And so after taking my eye for coming to do my work, I should go to hospital. How do I get my eye back?
The team is considering using armed security personnel during official duties.
With the current challenges that we are facing on the field, we may have to strengthen our task force with armed security. Our strategy has always been to retrieve anytime there are violent reactions and follow up after making a report. But it is appearing that that approach is putting our lives in danger.
Another victim, Michael Echampong, who has a cut on the shoulder, says he's experiencing pain in his left arm.
I was trying to write the summons to be given to them. So a gentleman came in with a pickup, with a quite number of them. They just entered. And they asked me, what are we doing here? I said, oh, we are from Ningo Prampram District Assembly, and we are here to do administration work. They say, here, we don't need to come here. They don't need permit to work. So as I was, talking to him, he said I should wait. He's coming. So he entered the pickup that they brought in and brought a cutlass out. So I said, oh, my brother, what are you going to do with this cutlass? After all, we all can work together. This is not a cutlass matter. By the time I opened my eyes, the gentleman wanted to hit the cutlass with my head. So I have to dodge it, so it hit my left arm. As I'm speaking to you now, my left hand is still paining me. I have to go for deep scanning.
Meanwhile, District Chief Executive Jonathan Doku is assuring that necessary measures will be taken to address the situation. Kwame Nyanka's report for JoyNews.
On to some other stories now. Government has received a €40 million facility from the European Union aimed at promoting investments and job creation. The money is the last tranche of a €323 million financing agreement that started in 2014 and is expected to end in 2020. Addressing a news conference on Sunday, Information Minister Kojo Opong Nkrumah said part of the money will be used in the fight against corruption to help government achieve the objective of that program.
Well, part of the funds is going to be used in strengthening the anti-corruption institutions, and that is expected to ensure that the thresholds will be lowered some more and make it easier for people to do business. If you follow the doing business reports, people often complain that sometimes along the value chain, you have to part with some monies, etc., and it all inhibits how quickly or how excited people are to do business in Ghana. The idea is that as we're able to invest more money there and curb it, it should translate into an easier doing business environment here in Ghana.
And let's move on. The CEO of MTN, Selom Adadivo, has advised business owners to align with modern technology in order to remain relevant in today's business world. He says a lot of businesses will improve their revenue levels and also operate more efficiently just by using the right sort of technology in the current digital space. Salom spoke to Joy Business at this year's Springboard Roadshow.
But for people whose jobs are low level, low skill, if they will benefit from digitization, it will depend on the extent to which technology either complements or substitutes your job function.
With a focus on digital revolution, this year's edition of the Springboard Roadshow sought to educate participants on how to seize opportunities in an uncertain digitized world. Speaking to Joy Business at the event, CEO of MTN Ghana, Salom Adadevo, said businesses have to embrace technology in order to meet the complex needs of clients.
Digital revolution is not necessarily something that's imposed, right? It's something that's being demanded. So there's a consumer demand for digital, which is just the way we do things today. So the way we communicate with the emergence of social media and other platforms, the way we think about the next steps in customer experience. People are becoming more sophisticated with technology and are demanding more things. And therefore, we are compelled to have to develop things a little bit differently. And this is what's really driving the digital revolution. So the relevance of it to us as a business is we need to stay relevant to our consumers. And the more we evolve, the more relevant we're likely to be. So we don't have an option. It is where the world is going, and we have to continue to stay relevant. So for us as businesses, it's absolutely critical.
On her part, co-founder of the Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Comfort Okran, also urged constant dialogue around the topic of digitization to ensure better adoption.
We need to do a lot more in terms of the fact that we need to get to the policy maybe you have been formulating, but then implementation stage, whereby not just in by educational level throughout the whole educational structure, that people are being pushed gently, pushed gently into using technology as part of their day-to-day, so that it becomes part of them. It's their nature and not something that is foreign, that is brought on. If we look at businesses, we need to have our businesses digitized in terms of how we interact with customers, how we respond to our clients, how we even bring in our elements of production, so that we can become better at what we do.
The Springboard Roadshow is an annual knowledge-sharing event aimed at mentoring business executives and transforming society leaders.
Now, the reopening of the Obuasi mines has revived the hopes of residents about the growth of the local economy. The residents, especially the youth, expect the Obuasi redevelopment project to improve employment opportunities in the area. Prince Apea visited one of these communities close to the old site of the Obuasi mine and has this report.
These are two-bedroom apartments dotted around this area, PTP, in Obuasi. Here is the residential facility of the then Anglo-Gold Ashanti staff. It was occupied by the junior staff of the mines. Hundreds of people occupied all these structures behind me. Now, after the mine was shut down, most of the workers have had to leave this area. We've been speaking to some of the former residents here.
Of course, this is where I have lived for almost 28 years. I was born here with all my siblings. My dad was a medical practitioner at Anglo-Gold Ashanti Hospital.
28-year-old Samolodro grew up here.
Here it's just the 2 rooms. You have your hall and you have your bedroom, you have your kitchen, you have your bathhouse and you have your toilet. And we don't pay light bill, we don't pay water bill. Even when your bulb, when your bulb is dead, Anglo-Gold will fix it for you. Everything in this house, Anglo-Gold will do it for you. But as you can see, the collapsement of Anglo-Gold Ashanti Company has caused a lot of damages. As you can see, even you can see the roofing. At times when you pass here and you see this is the place you have lived for almost so many years, at times you sit down and realize, because Every month, Anglo Gold will come and check your sink, will come and check your pipes, will come and check your bulbs, will come and check your net. Everything in the room will be checked. If there is any, damages, Anglo Gold will fix it for you. And even when you get a small problem in your house, you make a call, simple minute, they will come and, fix it for you. But
even the painting of these structures, scrubbing of the gutters, and weeding were periodically done by AGA. For Samuel, the reopening of the mine is the best thing that has happened to the residents of Obuasi.
Excited, of course. I'm very, very happy because everything in Obuasi, was dead. And the most annoying thing was that most of the workers were not from this town. Most of them were from different towns and different cities. So as the mine collapsed, most of them left. So we, the natives here, we were suffering. Any business that you would do, will not be going on well because there is no money in the system. So today is a great news for us because Anglo Gold is the pillar of Obuasi. Anglo Gold holds every breath in Obuasi. So as far as Anglo Gold is coming back, I'm so excited, I'm so happy. And it will reflect in anybody's pocket in Obuasi. Even if you don't get employed in Anglo Gold, definitely you are going to get some kind of coins in your pocket because anything that you would do is money, of course.
The reopening of the AGA mine means that there's going to be life in this neighborhood and areas around. It is unclear whether these areas would be used again, but it is obvious that expectations for residents here in Obuasi is very high. My name is Prince Apia, reporting.
Yeah, well, that's it for the news.